Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pen to Paper. Um, this is really strange because I'm not used to doing this live. Usually, I pre-record my writing tips, advice videos, but I'm really happy to be here with you live and share what's been on my heart, actually, and this discussion that I want to bring up of your voice mattering and why you should make sure it's heard, yet is every story supposed to be read? And I'm going to share a little bit more about why I felt this was very pertinent, why I think we need to discuss these things. So I hope this helps, or I hope this benefits you as much as it has benefited me by thinking about these things. So, first of all, I want to kind of jump into the discussion of why I think everyone's voice matters and heard or should be heard either through, content like this or through the written word. But I'm going to focus more on the written word, obviously, because I'm a writer. And there's something about the written word when you're writing that gives you time and space to fully understand or ascertain what you are trying to get across, the message that you're trying to get across, or perhaps the feeling that you're trying to get across in your writing. And with content perhaps more on this wavelength or reels or things that are just more instantaneous gratification, there's less room and space to contemplate on what is going out before it reaches people. So that's why I think writing is very powerful, and it's a powerful way to showcase one's voice. And it will go along with the second half of this discussion of, should all the stories be read? And if you agree with me on any of these things, feel free to add it in. If you have questions, like maybe we can just riff off of each other. Maybe you disagree. I would like to hear that too, because I want to hear what you have to say and think about these things. So, everyone's voice matters. The reason why I believe this, and this goes to a very personal reason for me, I believe that everyone. Oh, hey, we got someone's calling in. Hey, hello, Alex. Nice to have you here with us. The reason why I believe everyone's voice matters is because I believe, this is my personal belief, and you may not hold to the same belief, but I believe that everyone is made in the image of God. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone is given certain gifts, strengths, weaknesses that will enable them on the journey that they're on to grow, to bless other people. Oh, I have a, what are you doing? Well, I did explain that at the beginning of this video, but I'm basically discussing um, why everyone's voice matters and uh, why they should write the stories that they have in their hearts to tell, but should all these stories be read? So I think it's very obvious. I believe everyone's voice matters. Okay. Now, going into how to make your voice come across so that a large amount of people can read it. And I think it's so important for everyone to journal. I don't know. Tell me, do you journal? Do you think it's important to journal? I think it is important to journal. I will be the first to say that I have not been keeping up with my journaling as much as I should have, or as much as I know is helpful for me. Journaling just gives you that medium to share what's on your heart without having the pressure to know that it's being read by others, right? So, whatever you're feeling, whatever you are experiencing, you can write it all down in a journal. And if you so choose, close it shut and it never sees the light of day. But it can be beneficial just to, oh, yay, we got a journaler here from Maya. So, um, I'm curious, how long have you been journaling for? Feel free to put that in. I've journaled on and off over the years. I would keep it up probably for a few months, every day, every second day. and then I would fall out of the habit for maybe a year and come back to it the next year. It's really weird how that happened. Anyways, so that's why I think journaling is very powerful and everyone should journal. Or let's say you're not a strong writer or you don't like to write by hand, there's typing or even audio recordings, audio notes, transcriptions, all that. Now, I'd like to kind of focus in. Oh, Maya's been doing it every day for over a year now. It was a year last September. Well, congratulations. That is amazing. Um, Keep it up. Now you're inspiring me to get back into it. And another friend also asked me. I I had a wonderful walk this past Sunday, and something was impressed upon my heart and mind, and I shared it with a friend, and then they said, "Well, have you written it down?" And I said, "No, like I should." Because although I think I have a great memory, I may not remember this in the years to come, and sometimes things are so powerful that we need to write them down to remember, to go on through whatever struggles we're gonna get to later on in life. So that's something that I need to journal on right now after this when I have time later tonight. Um, so now I'm going to go into, should every story be read? With the power of words comes this responsibility of words, of your words, and how they affect other people. And I don't know if enough people these days fully wrap their heads around it and understand. I mean, I think we all understand that words can cut or words can bless, but do we really do anything about it? Um, oh, Maya just put in here. I started and stopped journals a million times. This time I reduced the pressure, did whatever felt right on the day, even if it was only a few words. Yeah, I don't know. When I was journaling, I kind of started I was pressuring myself to like at least do a full page of the journal. And then but yeah, maybe that's the wrong way of doing it. Maybe it's just put the words out there and see what happens. Now I want to get into public works. And if you have a dream of writing a book or putting out any kind of work that will be read by others, so it could be poetry, it could be essays, it could be flash fiction, it could be, I don't know what else, nonfiction, and you have a story to tell. I think this is where the idea of responsibility of our words really comes into play. And I'm not going to nitpick on certain genres because I think everybody, to a certain point, will just have genres that they don't appreciate or they don't like, and that's okay. Not everyone's the same, so they don't have to. We don't all have to enjoy the same genres. But as an author, as a writer, or if you're watching and you're a writer, I guess it's a good question to ask: how is my story going to affect the readers? Like, what do I want them to feel? What is the message I'm trying to like, what is the message I'm trying to bring across? Is it just me writing and hoping it's gonna land somehow? Is it just kind of like my verbal processing and or maybe it's a journal. Maybe you just wanna maybe you wanna publish a journal. Should all those things be read? I guess that's where um I'm wondering where that line is. If for whoever knows me personally, you guys know that I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate of new writers, new authors, authors in general. I want to read their works. I want to hear their voice. And when you pick up a book from one author and then another author, it's completely different, of course, because we're all different and we see the world differently and we've had different experiences. But then, I mean, there has been the odd book that I've picked up, and I was wondering, what was the benefit of this book? Or the feeling that I took away from it, was it conducive to me? And I know this is very subjective because this is my personal experience with reading certain things. But again, this is where I want to put into play what the responsibility of an author is and how our work affects readers. Uh, I know for many, horror is a controversial genre, but I do enjoy it from time to time. I think you can learn a lot from horror. Um, I don't tend to gravitate toward the gratuitous gore and violence, and not saying that there is no merit or message in it, but again, what is the point of that gore and violence? Is there a point? If there's no point, or if it's a point that is there to bring the reader's soul into a despondent state, should it have been published? Should it have been read? This is where I'm going with this. Okay, back to the horror story I did read. I read a horror story and it was pretty okay, it wasn't all gratuitous gruesomeness. There were some gruesome parts, but it was a story of a boy who um who was abused, who went through very difficult life situations. And there was this point in the book where he could either choose to walk away and forge a new life and walk in that newness of life, or he could take revenge on the people who had hurt him and his friends. And so he decided to take revenge. And what follows is this very tragic ending of this boy's revenge and hate actually eating him up and turning him into this monster himself. And it's very sad because, you have this tragedy that comes from one tragedy. But I enjoyed it because the message was so strong. It was showing what revenge and what hate does to one's heart, even if that heart has been beat up and bruised by an enemy. And I think it was a very well written, strong message book. I will tell you what it is. It's The Boy at Number 9 Whitlock by Louis Stevenson. So that's that book. If ever you wanted to, you're interested in that. So that one was there. Now I have started reading other books where it was just gratuitous, either gratuitous violence or gratuitous sex that really didn't add to a story. It was just there because someone wanted to put it on the page. Now again, I will never say that I know the intent of the author and what they're trying to do there. And maybe it does get better. But my own personal opinion is that I'm not going to stay around for something that's gratuitous that doesn't really point to something that I can learn from and continue. So I stop. So it's a short discussion. I just wanted to put the question out there. I don't know. Do you agree with me? Do you agree that even though each of our voices matter and our stories matter, should all of these stories be read? I'm all for writing it down. Maybe you do need to write down, or you do need to write a story that's all about, I don't know, gratuitous violence or whatever you want to do with it. But then you ask yourself, does this do something for my reader? Or is it just to kind of like get them on their own path of like indulging in certain fantasies that are maybe not healthy? That's that's what I have to say about that. I but I believe that everyone's journey, whatever journey they're on, there is um, designed to it, and there are valleys and mountains that they can climb that they can call from their life or the lives of people around them and create stories that are beautiful, stories that inspire, stories that, or even as this horror story, stories that teach a lesson, even in the darkness. So that's where I stand with this. Every voice matters. Every voice should be read, but not all stories should be read. If that makes any sense. And if you disagree, please tell me. If you agree, you can tell me too. Maybe if you have a question. I mean, I guess also I have this when I write my stories and I'm thinking about I always think about how are my words going to affect my readers? What do I want them to feel? What message do I want them to receive as they read my work? And I'm always very, very conscious of that. And maybe that's something that we writers need to be more conscious of is not saying write just for your reader because I guess you could lose your soul, your desires in that process if you're just writing. Okay. I'll be there in a minute. You can close the door. I'll be there in a minute. Looks like I need to go. I am not in a place where I can just lock the door. I'm in a certain part of my house where there's no locked doors. I gotta go because my baby has thrown up, supposedly. There you go. Normal mom life for you right here. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for stopping in and listening to my thoughts on this. And if you ever want to chat more about it, you can always reach me here, Facebook, Instagram, and all those wonderful places to connect.